Hey, hello, this is Liam. Welcome to Googlenomics, which is all about making the most of Google for your local business. And let's jump right into this. Why should you care? In other words, why care about Google? You probably realize this that Google controls 90% of the internet traffic, and I'm including YouTube here because Google owns YouTube. Another thing is that Google wants what you as a business owner want. You want a reliable and relevant search experience for your potential customers to make a wise purchase decision, hopefully in your favor. And that's what Google wants. And that's the whole purpose of all of their what are called algorithm changes and all kinds of things. So it's really important to know that you want what Google wants. And it's wise to play their game. And we'll talk more about that. The other thing is quite simply Google owns local marketing. For small and medium-sized businesses, Google owns it. They saw a long time ago how this was going to shake out, and that's when they went out and made a Google My Business page. It was called something else at the time, but they made a website, a free website for every business that they could find online. And that's ending, by the way. If you haven't claimed your business by, I think it's June of 2017, they are taking you off. The other thing is, and this is really important and why we're bothering going into this for our Facebook group, and that is that Google rewards those who play its game by the rules, in fact, and most people don't know what those rules are or how to play the game, and that gives those who do know a really great competitive advantage. So why should you listen to me? And some of you know me, most of you probably do not. And I founded River City, a digital marketing agency, in 2010. That's when I really started making it my business to keep up with the trends and best practices and technologies of the digital world. And as you know, it changes quickly. However, over time now, I have seen a lot of changes and have a real deep sense for the overall important trends, what to pay attention to and what to ignore. And that's a huge thing, knowing what to ignore. Because otherwise you will go crazy jumping down every little rabbit hole that comes along, as I'm sure you have experienced. I'm also a consultant and trainer for the New Jersey Small Business Development Center at Rutgers. Been doing that since I think about 2012. It was a couple years after I started the agency when I met the director up there and started doing some workshops and training and consulting for them. I also am a mentor and workshop leader for Princeton SCORE, although I have not done any workshops for them in the last year or so. And I was also a guest expert for Yelp on local business when they did a big forum up at Rutgers University. And that's enough about me. Let's look at what we will cover. This is really important. You need, as a business owner, to understand Google in terms of your marketing. You really need to understand Google. Of course, there are other things you need to understand as well, but we're just focusing on Google right now. And specifically what this means, you need to know how Google controls traffic for your website for small and medium-sized businesses. And that's primarily around these things. Your Google My Business page, which we will look at examples of, so you know exactly what I'm talking about. SEO, which means search engine optimization. Of course, Google reviews, Google Adwords, YouTube. And we'll also go over an action list for you to make sure that you really are a winner in the Googlenomics game. And this is what we are calling a Google My Business or a Maps listing. Google has really shot itself in the foot many times by calling and their Google business pages many different things, and there was Google Plus, remember that, and so forth. If you don't know all those things, great, perfect. No need to pay attention. Whatever you want to call this, Google Maps, Google My Business is the official name. This is what you are looking for. This is what's called the 3-pack, and I'll show you a fuller listing. These are the businesses that get all the calls. This shows up on the first page. This I did a Google search for Princeton tree removal, and this is what showed up underneath the AdWords. And as you can see, there's a place to, to look at more places here on the bottom. But I promise you, virtually nobody does that. The traffic goes here to these three businesses who have played the Google game correctly. If you were to click on one of those listings, it would take you to the next page, and this gives you, I did it on the second one, right? So Princeton Tree Care, and you can see, you can go and look at all these photos that they have, and you see their reviews. You've got the phone number. You can click to call. You can go to their website and get directions. All of these things are huge, and it's really important to note that people also read the reviews here. Everybody reads reviews. You read reviews. I read reviews. Usually I read the bad ones first. But in any case, reviews matter. 88% of people find a review online to have the same weight as a referral from a friend or family member. We are living in the review age, and you need to make sure that you have sufficient reviews for the kind of business you're in and your location, and that you keep up with them, that you respond to them, as you see here, and that they are really good. And we actually have a service called Review Genie that all members of this group get a free month of. So make sure that you take advantage of that so that you can see the power of getting an automated system for getting Google reviews. I don't think I need to say enough. I don't think I can say enough about Google reviews. They're everywhere. Every listing you go to, every search you make, you're going to see something about, the reviews. And even reviews from other services, they all show up on Google. So Google is the primary review engine, and 80-something% of people now have a Gmail account, which is what you need to leave a Google review. So we are in the age of Google reviews. And this is what a review screen looks like if you're going to make if you click on a business to get a review, to write a review. Unfortunately, most people don't even know how to do this, how to get to this place where you put the review in and your customers. It's usually only people who are angry about something find the way to do it. Your best customers will not be doing it. You need to reach out to them, but that can be awkward. That's why we use the automated system Review Genie that I talked to you about. But you can also send them a direct link to this page, and if you want one of those, I can make one for you. Let me know. Another perk for being in our group. And so this next we come to what's called SEO, and I made this in relationship to the maps so you could see what I'm talking about, right? Underneath the maps on a search page are going to be the normal listings, what are called the natural or organic listings for a search term. And this was, again, I made the Princeton tree removal was the search that I did. And you can see here we've got these three, the Princeton Tree Service, Princeton Tree Care, and Affordable Tree Removal. You can see that Princeton Tree Care is number 1 up here. This is SEO, Search Engine Optimization. This is their actual website. This is the website that Google gives them. This is their website, okay? And then we've got another one, Princeton University, and then more Princeton stuff, Yelp. Princeton Tree is down here again. So they are really winning the SEO game for this search term. And after them follows Home Advisor, which everybody in the service business knows. So winning the SEO game means that you are in the natural or organic listings here on the first page. Nobody goes to the second page. Yes, okay, occasionally you do, but 90% of people who are looking for something are not going to go beyond the first page. If you want to hide something, put it on the second page or beyond. AdWords. Now here you can see the search term that I made, that I used to begin with here, tree removal Princeton. And these things, these 4 here on top, and it varies how many are up here. It's usually, between 1 and 4. And this is a very competitive niche. So we're going to get a lot of competition here with Google AdWords. I'm just going to tell you right off the bat, I'm not a fan of AdWords for a local business or a small to medium-sized business. And not because they don't work, they do work. However, for the money, there are much better ways to get better results and better leads than using AdWords. And if you are doing AdWords and it's working for you, great, keep doing it. But also look into some of the other methods that I will be exposing to you, because AdWords is frankly too expensive for what you get. And that's my AdWords thing. Next is YouTube on my list. Now look at this. There wasn't a YouTube video in the search that I tried for Princeton tree removal, so I did Princeton painting, and you can see what pops out right here is this video. Now Google owns YouTube, and therefore it gives priority or preference to YouTube videos. And this is actually a client of ours, and if you do it properly, you can, this is the first page, you can see there's a little maps listing here, so we know we're on the first page. And these other ones here aren't even about house painting. First one is about, painting with, wine and painting parties. And then Home Advisor is about painting, but this is not an independent, this is an aggregator, a directory of painters. And as is the Yelp one. So the first thing that shows up, and it's got a nice picture, this is a pattern interrupt, is you've got this video. This is the power of having a good YouTube video done properly that will rank for you. And videos are good too because they give people a chance to see who you are. And a tip, if you do have a video, put your video in the signature of your email. This is what we had Andrew do. And over time, people just click on it in the email, and he's not asking them to, hey, go watch my video, but they do because they click on it because it's at the bottom of his email. That video gets shared. He's gotten so much business off of just putting that that video in the signature of his email. I think at this point, he's got like 1,200 views, which is more than enough to get him on this first page on YouTube. I've seen it happen with as few as 25 or 30 views for certain search terms. So that's YouTube. Now, let's look at the what I call the trifecta: Google My Business, SEO, and YouTube. Now, this is another client of ours, and look at this. They are in the maps. They're number 2 on maps. They're number 1 on the organic SEO. And they have a video all right here on the first page. Even if someone opts to end up going someplace else, they are going to be giving Princeton String Academy a good look because their visibility here. And notice also here right below, we're beating out Princeton University and Westminster Conservatory of Music, which is owned by Rider University. And so this is the power of really playing the game well for a small to medium-sized business, local business. And you don't even need to do all 3 of these things to have success with Google. But when you do get more than one of them, it's exponential in terms of your exposure and the kinds of business and leads that you get. Because really, basically, Googlenomics is all about getting leads, right? You know this. It's all about having people call you who are interested in you, who are looking for you. And that's different than you going looking for them, which is what we'll cover in other trainings here. But this is for people who are specifically looking for you. So your action list, make sure you've got a Google My Business page and that it's optimized. And, we can talk about how to do that and all of that. I'll answer your questions. SEO, make sure that, and SEO has 2 parts to it. It's what's on your website and what happens off of your website. So that's a big deal. And SEO is really important too for the maps listing. And then of course, YouTube. If you have a YouTube video or can make one for your business, it's a really great idea. And you just use it for the keywords that you're looking to rank for. And that gives you huge visibility. So here's what matters, and it's what I said before, the Googlenomics trifecta, getting your Google My Business page in the 3-pack, and that means having good and sufficient reviews, as well as other things, but the reviews are huge. Everybody reads reviews. Everybody cares about reviews, and it will make or break your business. In most cases, what reviews you have. Okay, website on page 1 of Google. Anything beyond page 1, nobody cares. And a YouTube video also on page 1 is a beautiful feather in your cap, because as soon as you can get somebody to watch a video of your business, you have a real opportunity for them to get to know you in a much better way than they'll ever do just by reading. They get to hear your tone of voice and, all kinds of things. There's just such richer information that's carried in a video that can be ever carried in the print or even image world. So that is it. Googlenomics, making the most of Google for your local business presentation. We have many more trainings coming up here, but this is the best one to start with. So thanks again for being a member of this Facebook group. And whatever questions you have or comments, please leave them so that we can keep the conversation going. Thanks so much.